Welcome back to Zodiac Legends, the myths written in the stars, the podcast where we uncover the myths, legends, and cosmic histories hidden within the constellations. Today we meet the ninth sign of the zodiac, Scorpius, the slayer of the giant, and discover its deep ties to war, rebirth, celestial warfare, and timeless myth. Scorpius, one of the most radiant constellations in the Milky Way, has a long and complex history. Once the largest sign in the zodiac, it was originally seen as a double sign, the Scorpion and the Chele, the Scorpion's claws. But the Romans transformed the Chele into a new constellation entirely, Libra, the scales. Some speculate this suggests the original zodiac had just 6 double signs. Though there's no solid evidence for that, it does highlight how ancient and transformative Scorpius has been. To most ancient cultures, the stars of Scorpius formed a scorpion, a symbol of danger, death, and power. But others saw serpents or dragons. In China, these stars were once part of the mighty azure dragon, a noble creature representing the east and spring. Over time, the stars of Scorpius were reimagined again and again. During Confucius's time, they became Tahu, the great fire, symbolized by Antares and the scorpion's body, and Xingkong, the divine temple, the scorpion's tail. When Jesuit missionaries arrived, they called this celestial creature Tian He, the celestial scorpion. Yet in the traditional Chinese zodiac, Scorpius corresponds not to a scorpion, but the hare. Scorpius's ancient significance stems partly from its role in tracking time. Around 4000 BC, the autumn equinox fell within its borders, lasting until about 1850 BC, or 45 BC if you include the Chele. To early civilizations along the Euphrates, this shift marked the sun's decline. They pictured Scorpius as a scorpion man carrying a lamp, ushering in the darkness of winter. For the Phoenicians, Scorpius was an omen of the sun's dimming power, a sign of approaching scarcity and danger. A contrast to the Pleiades, which represented spring and abundance. As one rose, the other fell. To sailors, the setting of Scorpius heralded violent storms, but to medieval alchemists, it held divine potential. They believed that only while the sun passed through Scorpius could the iron be transformed into gold. In astrology, Scorpius was seen as fruitful, yet feared. It governed the genitals and carried intense, Mars-like energy. The tail and sting of the scorpion were ruled by Mars, violent, passionate, and destructive. But the Chele, now part of Libra, were ruled by Venus, symbolizing love, union, and balance. In ancient geopolitical astrology, Scorpius was believed to rule over Carthage, Libya, Egypt, Sardinia, and nearby islands. In the Hebrew zodiac, it was linked to the tribe of Dan. In today's star maps, Scorpius is accompanied by a curious twist, the 13th constellation along the ecliptic, Ophiuchus, the serpent-bearer. As a result, the sun only spends about 9 days in Scorpius. The rest of the time often attributed to Scorpius is actually spent in Ophiuchus. And now, to a legend that binds them all, the myth of Orion and the Scorpion. Orion, the giant hunter, was loved by the gods, but cursed by his arrogance. One night after drinking with the gods, he boasted he could kill every beast on earth. His words were overheard by Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, who, furious at his disrespect for nature, sought revenge. She allied with Mother Earth, and together they summoned a deadly champion, the Scorpion. On a clear midwinter night in the southern hemisphere, you can see a dark rift cutting across the brightest part of the Milky Way. What ancient people believed was the hole the Scorpion tore through the heaven on its descent. It found Orion and stung him. The great hunter fell. But his story did not end there. Asclepius, the son of Apollo and founder of medicine, found Orion's body. Trained by the wise centaur Chiron, Asclepius had learned how to bring back the dead. He attempted to resurrect Orion. But Zeus, angered by this defiance of divine law, struck Asclepius down. Later, out of love for Orion, the gods immortalized him as a constellation. But Artemis was not finished. She placed her scorpion in the sky opposite Orion. To this day, the two remain locked in celestial chase. When Orion rises in the night sky, Scorpius has already set. And when Scorpius rises, Orion vanishes. This cosmic dance encoded seasonal knowledge. In New Zealand, when Orion shines, it's summer, long warm days. When Scorpius reigns overhead, it's winter, cold and still. When they both hover near the horizon, one rising as the other sets, the seasons are about to change. Ancient skywatchers passed this story down not just for entertainment, but as a way to remember equinoxes, solstices, and nature's rhythms. Even today, this tale of pride, punishment, and immortal legacy reminds us of the deep connection between myth and environment. And in the year 2450 AD, the winter solstice will return to Scorpius, marking the darkest time in the north and the height of summer in the southern lands of Aotearoa. So the next time you look up and spot the Scorpion crawling through the sky, remember, it is no ordinary creature. It is the goddess's revenge, the bearer of change, and the slayer of the giant. Thanks for listening, and join us next time as we follow the stars to the archer, Sagittarius. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow Mythic Cosmos. Until next time, keep looking up. The myths are written in the stars.